Let the lion roar. Hail, hail, Lion of Judah. Let the lion roar. Hail, hail, Lion of Judah. Let the lion roar. Hail, hail, Lion of Judah. Let the lion roar.
Well, good evening. Time to get started. So, preacher, you want to open up with a word of prayer for us?
Father, we are so thankful today for all of the goodness and blessings that you bestow upon us. Every day is a gift from you, and we are so thankful for your goodness. Lord, we're thankful for this opportunity that we can come and worship you and listen to music, Lord, and just think about our church family and how blessed we are. Lord, for all of those that are here, may they receive a special blessing. For those not able to be here for different reasons, Lord, I pray you bring them back to the next point in time. And God, just speak to our hearts through your Holy Spirit. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay, we're going to start off, and the praise team and the kids are going to join us again.
We'll be around this microphone right here. There you go. Sing right into there. Y'all notice a new member? This man was so shaken yesterday. He forgot. He moved his mouth. He was humming. He was saying everything. I didn't think a man your age could get nervous.
Well, I thought I had it on this side and I had it on that one. What we singing first?
So you know you're supposed to stay out of your comfort zone. So. Amazing. Okay.
Okay.
We can't go without you. You know, the song we're going to sing right now is called What a Day That Will Be. Yeah, I don't want to die. But when I do, it's good to know that there's a place that I'm going to go. And I ain't going to have no worries. I ain't going to have no hurts, no nothing. I'm going to be with Jesus. That's where a day's coming, and that's what the song's about. So listen to the words of it. There is coming a day when the heartaches are gone. No more clouds in the sky, no more tears to dim the eye. All is peace forevermore on that happy golden shore. What a day, glorious day that will be. What a day that will be when my Jesus I shall see. When I look upon his face, the one who saved me by his grace. When he takes me by the hand and leads me to the promised land. What a day, glorious day that will be. There'll be no sorrows there, no more burdens there, no more sickness or pain, no more parting over there, and forever I will be with the one who died for me. What a day, glorious day that will be. What a day that will be when my Jesus I shall see. When I look upon his face, the one who saved me by his grace. When he takes me by the hand and leads me to the promised land. What a day, glorious day that will be. What a day that will be when my Jesus I shall see. When I look upon his face, the one who saved me by his grace. When he takes me by the hand and leads me to the promised land. What a day, glorious day that will be. What a day, glorious day that will be. Amen.
Amen.
Did our new mama do good?
I got one clap.
You got one.
I got one clap.
Yesterday he was saying they're gonna start throwing cups.
You know what Terry told you about clapping too, don't you?
Yeah, cause we through. They're glad we through.
Clapping through. All right. Let's sing this next one. We'll sing Amazing Grace.
I tell you what, everybody in here knows this song. I know, Amazing Grace. So you can sing along with us. That way, y'all won't hear our mistakes and we won't hear y'all.
They did that for me because I said if I ever sing before somebody, it's gonna be Amazing Grace.
Amen.
They did it for me.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Was grace that taught my heart to fear, and We're
When
now
you
pro.
gonna give us that, when you gonna give us that $100? He said, what would he have to do to, he said, what would he have to do to join us? I told him he'd give us $100. He ain't paid us yet.
Who's that?
You.
Well, Mr. Sammy, if it makes you feel any better, I get just as nervous every time I sing or talk in front of people. So, Mr. Gary always picks at me. He says, your hand was like this. And I'm like, I'm aware. But I'm going to try to sing Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus. And I mentioned yesterday at Upward that Grandma Dot had said, do you want to do a devotion? I said, sure, I'd love to. And I was trying to prepare for it, and I just kept thinking, maybe I'll do it on this, or maybe I'll do it on that, or maybe I'll do it on kindness, or, maybe I'll do it on excellence. That's what we're talking to the kids about, is being excellent for God. And I had all these ideas going around in my head, but I kept coming back to this song over and over and over again, because at the end of the day, what I really want to do is point all the kids to Jesus. And so it just kept coming back into my head. So yesterday morning, I still really didn't have anything quite nailed down, and we walked in the gym, and I told Chris, I said, well, if you can pull that song up, I think I'll just sing that. I said, because that's, my goal in life is to look to Jesus and lean on him for everything. That's what I want to point the kids to do. And I said, I think that's just my devotion. God keeps bringing it back to me. So I'm going to try to sing that again tonight. Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. Oh soul, are you weary and troubled? No light in the darkness you see. There's light for a look at the Savior, and life more abundant and free. Through death into life everlasting, he passed and we follow him there. O'er us and no more hath dominion, for more than conquerors we are. Oh, turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in
His glory and grace. His word shall not fail you, He promised. Believe Him and all will be well. Then go to a world that is dying, His perfect salvation to tell. Oh, turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look full in His wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of His glory and grace. Oh, turn your eyes upon Jesus. Oh, turn your eyes upon Jesus.
So Happy New Year. So what I'm going to talk about is kind of about the new year. How many people make New Year resolutions? Anybody? I half-heartedly do, kind of whatever. I'm going to start with two stories, and just so happened becoming a deacon today. They kind of revolve around a deacon. The first one's kind of funny. Unfortunately, it's kind of true for a lot of places, churches I've gone to or heard about this, that, or the other. But just the way they look at it. So the first story, this woman goes to church. First time she's been to church since she was a little girl. She dresses with the best she has. Well, she don't have a lot, but she dresses the best way she knows how. Shows up to church. Well, it's not the most church-appropriate clothes. It's not, what you probably should wear to church. Well, when the deacons goes to the pastor upset, hey, you need to go tell her she can't wear this. You got to go talk to her. Preacher goes to her and says, hey, look, I need you to pray and ask God what you should wear to church because you can't wear this church. Next week, come back with something different. Well, the next week she comes back wearing the exact same dress. This, that, and the other. Preacher gets upset, says, look, I told you, you need to pray to God, ask Him what you need to wear. She goes home, comes back the third week, wearing the same thing. She said, I told you. The deacon gets upset with the preacher, and this, that, and the other, and the preacher goes up to her and says, I told you, you needed to talk to God and ask Him what you should wear to church. And she says, I did. And he said, well, what did He say? And she looked at him and said, the Lord said He had never been to your church, so He has no idea what you wear there. I mean, unfortunately, I'm sure that's the way some people feel. Well, my second story, this one's, I know, is a true story. I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of different preachers' sermons. But this is a guy that lives in Louisiana. He grew up in a church. He got into alcohol and drugs when he was a teenager. And he started going off on his own, this, that, and the other. And his mama would love God with all of her heart and loved and loved and loved. I mean, he grew up in the church. Well, he had gotten, wrapped up in all kinds of, he's selling drugs, guy he was living with that was a big guy in drugs then. He just happened not to be at home when it happened, but the guy he was living with was at home, got arrested, got put in jail, this, that, and the other. Well, he said that he was actually a realtor, and he was actually showing a house to somebody, and he got a text message from the preacher's daughter. Said, we would really love for you to come back to church this Sunday. And he said, he just, looked at it and said, these people are asking me to come to church. And they were like, you're not going to go, right? You? I mean, who you are? He said, I am going to go. He said, I've been reading the Bible. My mama put one in my laundry. She had been doing my laundry for me, and she put one in there. And I started reading it. And the way he said I looked at it is the devil was a hold of me. He said, I started reading it and looking at the words in the same way the devil talked to Adam and Eve about, well, did the Lord really say you shouldn't eat from that tree? He said, I used the scriptures to justify everything that I did. He said, well, the Bible says in Matthew 7:1, don't judge, for you shall be judged. He said, I'm going to go to church, and the first person that says something to me, I'm going to let them know that, see, y'all are not supposed to be judged. I'm going to tell you, you're not a Christian, da-da-da. He said, so I showed up to church that Sunday morning. I put a bandana on my head so low enough that I could see, but you couldn't see my eyes. I smoked a joint before I walked in. I just wanted someone to say something. He said, I walked into church. First person, I said, well, hey, brother, it's so good to see you. He said, the next person, man, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Thank God you're here. Praise God. He said, people started hugging me and thanking me for coming to church. And it wasn't just a sympathy hug. It was, man, we are so happy to see you. And he said, I know I stunk. He said, I'm living a life of sin. I just got done doing what I did in the truck. He said, I know, but every one of them looked at me and said, thank God you're here. He said, my mom came around the corner and she had that motherly snarl on her face. And she got closer to me and said, I can't believe you wore that bandana to church. And he said, Mama, you're the first person that said anything about it. And the deacon, the head deacon next to her said, Mary or whatever her name was, he said, we're just happy he's here. He said, that changed my life, is how I was accepted back into that church without any condemnation. And, my new year is, I don't think that I'm a very judging person, but we all have a way. We look at something and we want to instantly say something in our heads, whether we say it out loud or not. It's just something we do because it's our human nature, it's flesh, bone. But I want to do more. Yesterday, I had never done it before. I invite people to come to our worship night at Upward, but I want everybody to know that they're welcome at a church. And, I always tell them yesterday, I want to make sure they know if you don't have a home church, come visit. Go visit a church. Find someone to, look, this church might not be right for you. God might not say come to this church. But there's a lot of good churches, and I want to help you get to one that God says you need to be at. And I told a story yesterday, my devotion. I started watching some hunting videos here lately, and I've been watching a lot, especially since Caroline this week went on her first deer hunting trip. And she wanted to watch all the hunting videos in the world. Well, I like watching feeding deer, and just because you get to see all the deer walk up to it. Well, they had one where it had a boar, and the boar had they had built this contraption. It was like an octagon that they raise above the ground about 5-6 feet. And there's feed in the middle. All the boar just walk in. And I said, they can come and go as they want to. Nothing's stopping them because the cage is off the ground. But then all of a sudden, that thing snaps and it goes straight down. And now you are trapped. You are a prisoner inside that thing when those boar will be killed, caught, killed, whatever they're going to do with them. And I told them that, I started I watched. I think we've all watched God's Not Dead. I watched it, a couple months ago. And for some reason yesterday when I was getting out there to get to my devotion, that's just what popped in my head, that devotion. And I remember, You know, in the movie, there's a guy in it. Dean Cain plays his character. He's rich. He's got, you know, anything you want. Money, girls, fame, can come and go to all these different things. And he's sitting at the nursing home with his mom who has dementia. She's just existing. She's just sitting there, and he's saying those things to her. Where's your God at? What has he done for you? Here you are sitting in a nursing home. You don't have anything. You don't know nobody. You're just sitting here. And she's just staring off into the space, just out there. And then all of a sudden, she don't turn and say anything. She just says, you know, sometimes the devil lets us live problem-free. He lets us think that we can do, and we got all we could want. We live in a jail, but the cell's open, so we can come and go. You know, we don't, the world, why do we need to leave? It's comfy. We have what we want. And then all of a sudden that jail cell closes, and now you're a prisoner. You can't go anywhere. And this, as anything this past year should have taught us, I'm sure we've all learned this, that death knows no age. It comes as a thief and takes ones we love. And if we're living in Christ, it's not a thief. It's a homecoming for those. But the devil in your life, if you're living in a jail cell, it might seem like the world has nothing to offer you. What could I have what I want? But it's a jail. This world is not a home. It is a jail that we don't want to be locked inside of. And we can go at any time. And my thing this year, and especially with Charlie Kirk, you know, I had never heard it till after he died, where he used to always tell people he wanted to make heaven crowded. Don't matter if you have $1 billion in your bank. It don't matter if you're Jeff Bezos or you're the man that's living underneath the bridge over here, homeless with nothing. God came and died for that person. Your money means absolutely nothing. And that's what our desire as a church is, to reach everybody we can. Because what good is it to keep, you know, the joy of the Lord in us and not share it with those out there? I offered everybody yesterday, come to church, come to church, come to church. I want to start trying to always tell them what Grandmama talked about, you know, telling them about my Jesus. And, you know, Carolyn wants to sing that song, and that's what we're here for. I mean, that is to tell them about our Jesus. Every one of us have a story. Every one of us have a testimony that just, it don't matter what you've been through in your life. I can promise you, God will work amazing things out of it if you let Him. No matter what you have faced in your life, God will work incredibly good out of every situation if you let Him do it. Nothing is a surprise to Him. Nothing catches Him off guard. God's not sitting there, oh man, I turned my back. No, He knew. He knows. Someone, I can't remember his name, Cliff, he goes to colleges also and does debates with children. He says, there's one thing that I always tell people. The world is unfair. Our God is fair. Do not get them confused. We live in a very unfair world, because you know what? If we lived in a fair world, we'd all be hanging on a cross, because that cross was for us. So it's good that it's an unfair world, and we don't get what we deserve. This year, I want to take and always do whatever I can to try and tell people about Jesus. There's nothing, like I said, there's nothing in your life that you have done that He can't redeem. There is nothing that His blood won't wash away. And thank God we live under a God like that. That there is not a dictator who says, well, that's this, you got to do this. I was joking with a driver the other day. He's talking about masks. He's got the, you know, I don't know his relationship with God. Don't know if he actually goes to church. He just was joking about having to go to mass, this, that, and the other. You know, I'm like this. I got to give a lot of confessions. And, you know, it's so great. We have a church where when Jesus died on that cross, he broke the veil. There is nothing in between me and God. It is my God. He is my dad. He is my personal relationship with him. I don't need somebody to intercede for me. But guess what? We have the Son who died on it sitting there ever interceding for us. All we have to do is ask, and he will give exceedingly abundantly what we asked. Keep asking. Keep going out there. We ain't got to sit there and push gospel down somebody's throat, but you can show them mercy and grace and give it to them. Because in the world we live in today, we need all the mercy and grace we can get. Because the world is falling apart around us quicker in my lifetime than I've ever seen it. So if we're going to make a New Year's resolution, let's make it about God. Everything we do, let's put him first. And you know, the good thing about it with God, we don't have to wait till a new year. We can just wake up today because his mercies are new every day for us. All we have to do is, Lord, what was bothering me yesterday is in the past. Let's start today. Let's go. I want to be like Peter. No matter how many times I might fail him or deny him, oh, Peter, I love you. I want to be like Peter, always getting back up, to be the one that when he was crucified said, don't crucify me like my Lord. I'm not worthy. I want to be crucified upside down. You know, a couple of Bible verses. Revelation 21:5. He who was seated on the throne said, I am making everything new. He's making it all new for us. Isaiah 43:18 and 19. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do not be perceive it. I am making a way in the wilderness and the streams in the wasteland. We have all the hope we could have in this Bible. It tells us that, guess what? We're going to win in the end. So let's do our part. Always be that Bible that people read. We're going to make mistakes. You know, I say it a lot. I used to hear it when I was in my youth group when I was young about, you know, the only Bible some people read are our lives. And I can remember part of my testimony. I tell you kids, because it's what I always tell when I used to tell my youth group. Part of my testimony, one of the worst things I can remember in my life, I was in college. We were at the landing over there off of Charles. I had a hurricane going on, so we were having a hurricane party. I was drinking. And somehow we got on the porch, and we started talking about the Lord and this and that. And because I was the most church one of all of them, I knew the most about it. And, you know, it hit me like a ton of bricks while we were sitting there talking about it. If I'm sitting here talking with so much knowledge of the Bible, they might look at me and say, well, he does it. Why can't I? It hit me like a ton of bricks that night. And I remember saying, look, I'm not living like I'm supposed to. I'm not doing what the Bible tells me to do. Because I was scared to death because I remember the phrase, I know I've heard Ricky tell her kids, sometimes the only Bible people read is your life. How are you presenting the Bible? I know that I'm not always the best at it. Troy Lucas was talking, we were talking this morning, joking about UPS. He used to be a UPS driver. And UPS can steal your joy in a heartbeat, you know. Especially this time of year. It can do your best to steal your joy. But that is probably my biggest struggle. But everything we should do is try our best. But the thing about it, God gives us mercy and grace because we're not perfect. He knows we're not. I want to be like Peter. chop that soldier's ear off, but the Lord's going to pick it up, put it back together, and say, Peter, no, don't do that, and forgive me. So I just challenge all of us. I'm going to tell you one more story, just because this bothers me so much too. I don't know why I want to throw this in here. But talking about also being a kid or teenager, I don't know if you're a kid, 18. I was 18, 19 years old. We were leaving Walmart on Rima Boulevard. Raining, it was cold, and this lives with me, you know, showing acts of kindness. I guess this is why it ties in and just popped in my head that I wanted to share it. I still remember it like it was yesterday. We were in my cousin's truck driving out of Walmart. Like I said, it's raining cold. A car, we get to an intersection right where McDonald's is right here. And a car with some elderly couple hit the curb and it bust a tire. And my first thing, we need to get out and help them. That's because, I mean, they were old. I mean, I thought of my grandma is what I thought of. But because I was 19 years old and is that cool to get out? You can get wet. I often think, was that an angel unaware that I was sitting there to help? I denied it. I lived with that. That was 22 years ago. But I think of it all the time. Was that somebody that Jesus had put in my path to help, show grace, show mercy, show love and compassion for? I don't want none of y'all to ever experience that, because I tell you, when I say I think of it often, I do. I don't ever want to have that kind of regret, because I live with that. That's how I really do. And I don't know why I want to share it with you so much, but again, I want us to have a new year where we put God first in everything. I want us to be that. Our desire is everything we do, we're doing it for the Lord. Every chance we get to tell them about the Lord. Yeah, hear my grandma last night. I mean, she was, and it just so happened, I was up in the control booth playing, controlling music. And she said, I want to tell you about my Jesus. And obviously the first song that pops in my head is Anne Hathaway. And I started playing it, and she came up to me after the thing and said, I don't know who was up there playing that, but that just, I said, it was me. I said, when you started talking about it, it went perfect what you're saying. You wanted to tell people about your Jesus. That's what I want us to do. I want us to have that kind of excitement. I want me to have that kind of excitement. Because there's nothing to be ashamed of in Jesus Christ. I can promise you that. The world will one day get to a point where it's going to be a crime. It's already that way in other countries. To say that you love the Lord, that you live for God, that you announce His name. I believe, unfortunately, one day America will get to that point, and if you look at some of the leaders we elect in our country, it's going to be here sooner than later. So keep praying for our country. Let's always pray that we can always put God first in everything we do and live our Bibles out for others. I'll say a prayer, and then we'll sing Sanctuary one time, and that'll be our closing prayer. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity to come together and worship you and have a night of praise and worship, Lord. Lord, everything that was sung, everything that was said, let it somehow glorify your name and touch ones that really need to hear it, Lord. Lord, thank you for the world you give us, the life you give us, the families you give us, Lord. No matter what, there's always something to be thankful for, because we have so much. If all we have is you, that's going to be enough, Lord, because you always provide for us. Lord, all of us that have a need on our hearts, Lord, the unspoken, Lord, the ones that are really weighing us down, Lord, give us peace. Give us understanding, Lord. Lord, for we know that always it's not going to be found the way we want to, because your ways will profound us, Lord. But Lord, give us the peace that surpasses all understanding. Lord, keep us safe. Keep us striving to be more like you every single day, to get closer to you, have a better relationship with you, Lord, in every way, Lord, every single day, Lord. Continue to watch over, guide us, lead us into the next appointed time, Lord. Amen. Don't stand and sing.